Join us for Live from the Pit, where we deliver high-energy trading insights. Experience live preparation and execution with real trades and actionable setups. Trade smart, not impulsively. Expect precision and discipline in every move. Watch the charts,
this morning. I
feel
had
the
a
momentum,
brownout
and make informed decisions.
15-20 minutes
Join
ago
us
and
daily at 9
had to-
a.m. and become a confident
to
trader
reboot
without the
my
noise.
machine and
Subscribe to Pitbull Traders on
yeah, it
YouTube.
sucked.
And
I was in the middle of something and I was creating something and I lost it all. I'm pretty not happy about that, but whatever. Take it all in stride. All right, let's see what we got. Great. All right, cool. Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Large Void. Thanks for helping me out with the sound check. Good morning, PR. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, May 8th. New day, fresh start. All right, welcome to Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple. Live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups. All what they focus on building real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with one goal: to build out the structure before the open so that we make sure we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. So we're not guessing, we're not chasing, and we're placing trades that follow a correct logic chain. All right, so let's get after it. Let's jump right into the charts and let's get aligned with the market. Real quick, we'll start off as we do every day with our higher time frame analysis. And to do that, we jump into the 4-hour chart. Really not much to say here, guys. You know, we just keep blasting off higher. We made a overnight high at 74.12. Okay, 74.1250. Our long-term target is 74.50 to 7,500, which you can see marked off there on the blue dotted line. Okay, so jumping into the 4-minute chart, for the 4-hour chart, you can immediately see that it's just been a parabolic move now over the prior all-time high, and there's no telling, there's no structure above us to say, hey, what trouble can we run into? You guys remember earlier in the week, I had a channel drawn out here. We traded it. We pulled back for like maybe an hour or so, or a few hours, and then it was retested and reclaimed. Okay. So one interesting thing about yesterday was that we came to within one tick of the overnight high, and then we had that liquidation break. We had the break all day, and then we chopped around at the low, holding the lower balance of Wednesday's overnight pullback. So that's about here, like coming in at about 73.50, 73.40. All right, so not much to discern getting out of this 4-hour chart. One thing that stands out to me, obviously, you can see we wicked up here at 7,300. So let's use that let's just keep that in the back of our mind, frame that as part of our narrative, and to understand that that looks like a potential place for a higher low. Okay, and I'd even entertain maybe dipping and testing that wick. So say we come down and we test just below it to test this distribution here, this supply zone right here. Okay, and that comes in roughly in the range of 72.80 to 72.85. All right, so let's just keep that in the back of our mind: 72.80, 72.85 on ES, as well as this wick high at 7,300. All right, up here we're going to have to use moving averages. Although I don't trade off of moving averages, we can see that this entire move has been respecting, for the most part, the 21-period moving average, and to a certain degree, the 9-period moving average, are a bit faster one. We dipped yesterday, and then now we've reclaimed it, and it's acting as support on the 4-hour time frame. All right, so let's get a little bit more granular, and let's jump into the 15-minute chart. Let's get an alignment. Let's see what we have for today. All right, so we start off like we do every morning. We're going to ask ourselves, what is the condition of the overnight inventory? Because the rule of thumb is when the overnight inventory is biased in one direction or the other, whether it's long or short, the rule of thumb is that you typically will see a correction of that inventory sometime during the RTH session. And that's kind of what we had yesterday. You could see that we tested the high, came to within a tick of it, and then we had the liquidation break. All right. But one thing that we have to point out here and we have to be mindful of is that there just seems to be a lack of sellers in this market, right? We came down here and we chopped around for pretty much half of the day for about 3 hours, and sellers were unable, despite all these attempts to go lower, we wicked. That means sellers were being absorbed. And once they traded a little bit lower in the after hours, we reclaimed yesterday's low for a failed breakdown or a look below and fail. And then price reclaimed it, and it was all these shorts late in the day were liquidated, and even shorts from throughout the day. All right, so coming in, our overnight inventory is, the way we figure out what our overnight inventory is, we look up the prior day's settlement, and yesterday's settlement was 73.63. And just gauging from the chart, we can easily discern that 90% of our trade overnight has been above the settlement. Okay, despite this little dip right at the 6 p.m. open, which reclaimed yesterday's low at 73.45. We had a slight pullback. It held as support, and then it's just been game on to the upside. We just had a slight pullback, and already, buyers are pulling in, absorbing that pullback, and stepping in to take the prices higher. All right, so the overnight inventory is net long, so we shouldn't be surprised by a liquidation break at the open to kind of reset that inventory, reset the deck for the day ahead. Okay, so we're going to map out the bullish argument, the most bullish argument, the most bearish argument. We're also going to map out a few trap trades, so a bullish trap trade, a bearish trap trade, and we're also going to do the dreaded sideways move. Although it's Friday, I think that's a low probability. I'll talk more about that later. All right, so the most bullish argument, we open 73.97, and immediately we get an open drive higher that tests yesterday's high. If we get above it with strength and momentum on any pullback, I think our first reference, as always, is going to be what? Our day time frame references, right? So yesterday's high and the overnight high. As well as, I think it's important to point out that we had this pullback here from this high of 74.02. Let's just frame that out, because that could be also act as a support. Okay, so if we get the bullish move open, we get the bullish open, and we drive higher. Price drives through the yesterday's high at 74.10. We get over the overnight high at 74.12 to satisfy our 96% stat, and we get a pullback, and to which, say, the yesterday's high or even the overnight high hold, then that would be really bullish, right? It's game on. Sellers couldn't even get back into the overnight range. But we can also, as we said earlier, we could also dip as low as that 74.02 and find buyers there. So let's just keep those levels in mind. But if we get above yesterday's high and there's a slight pullback, sellers get absorbed, there's some profit taking, but immediately we reclaim the overnight high at 74.12. And at that point, we're going to start looking for long entries on pullbacks and take our scales along the way. All right. If we do get the pullback to the 74.03 high, we're going to look for sellers to be absorbed. We're going to think about it as more as profit taking instead of selling. And then at that point, we can start looking for entries or long ideas that get us back through yesterday's high, that get us back over the overnight high, taking our scales along the way. All right. Remember, if you got the trading evaluation accounts, if you got the trading prop accounts, take those scales along the way. That's how you pass. Okay. All right. So that's the most bullish argument. Let's get into the bullish trap trade, which actually manifested yesterday. And we saw that really well. So we came to within one tick of the overnight high. And I'll tell you more about how the 96% stat played out really, really well. Okay. All right. So that's the most bullish argument. Let's talk about the bullish trap trade. So say we open 73.96 and price trades up, tags yesterday's high or even goes over the overnight high, and then immediately it peters out and it comes back into the overnight range and even yesterday's range getting below 74.10. At that point, we're going to watch 74.02. If we break below that, then at that point, right, well, what are we going to do? We're going to start looking for short scalp entries that with our risk marker being yesterday's high at 74.10, and then maybe even get a move down that gets down to yesterday's value area. Now remember, value area is where 70% of the prior day's volume transacted, okay? And so yesterday's value area high, or the higher portion of that range, was 73.82, and the lower value area was 73.48. All right, at that point, what we're going to start looking for is, does price find acceptance within the value area? Okay, but at that point, we're taking our scales along the way, and we're monitoring for continuation, and we'll see what bears have in store. See if we get another strong liquidation break like we did yesterday. All right, so that covers the bullish trap trade. Let's cover the most a liquidation break at the open. So if we open here 73.96 and we get immediately trade lower, losing VWAP, volume weighted average price, at 73.82, and also get into the value area, at that point we're going to monitor the 73.90 pullback low that just happened, okay, and entertain short scalp entries that get us back into the value area, with our risk marker being yesterday's volume point of control, or the price that the most volume transacted yesterday being our risk marker. And at that point, we'll look for short scalps that get us into a full gap fill, a true gap fill at 73.63. Now remember the rule of thumb with the value area. If price is outside of the prior day's value area, comes back into the value area, and demonstrates acceptance, then the rule of thumb is that we're going to traverse the entire value area, and we saw that happen yesterday. All right, so that covers the most bearish argument. We'll have to monitor at the gap fill, see what happens. But remember, when ES is selling, it's a hot knife through butter. It takes no prisoners. It's on to the upside, much like we saw yesterday, right? You get these big 15-minute prints, and where we had some buyers trying to reclaim, it just never materialized. All right, so let's jump into the bearish trap trade. So say we get that liquidation break here at the open, and we test into this yesterday, the high portion of yesterday's distribution, okay? So that would be roughly at about 73.70 to 73.75, or what I'm talking about is this balance area that formed, okay? So if price gets back in there and gets back into the value area, as I said earlier, we can start entertaining short scalps, because we'll be below our moving averages, we'll be below the volume weighted average price, and we can use those as our risk marker. Okay, at that point, what we're looking for is short scalps, taking our profit ahead of that 73.70, 73.75, taking our scaled end exits, and then monitoring to see if price demonstrates some absorption, or if we just cut right through it, get down to the settlement, and then monitor again. See, gauge the strength and the momentum of the move, and see maybe if we do get down there, potentially test yesterday's low and value area low at 73.45. At that point, we'll entertain, see the strength and the momentum of the move, see if we can get down to the overnight low at 73.36 quarter. All right. So that covers the bullish trap trade. The most bullish argument, the most bearish argument. We also covered the bullish trap trade and the bearish trap trade. Currently, so remember, we do every day. We're going to monitor the open print. The opening print is the price that traded right at the 9:30 open, at the regular trading hours session open. We call that RTH. And so what we do with that print is we're going to monitor it to see where is price in relation to that opening print. Okay, so today's opening print is 73.95.75. So we're going to mark that off here. Okay, just change the date on this, make sure we're in alignment with the day, keep our charts organized. And guys, so they're about, I'm a big fan of clean charts, but these levels have to be marked off on our charts. These are what we call day time frame references, right? Prior days range and value area, because these let us know or give us an idea. Look at it like a compass, right? Where is price in relation to the prior day's range? And that gives us an idea for what the market is signaling to us in relation to what happened yesterday. Those are very important to have on your chart. So what we do there is we always mark off the prior day's regular trading hours high, regular trading hours low, the overnight high, and the overnight low. We also mark off the opening print, as I just mentioned, and the prior day settlement. We use those as our day time frame references. Okay? All right, so getting right into it, we opened at 73.95.75. Let's take a look at the order flow. 73.95.75. We went below by 2 ticks, and suddenly we're moving higher. Let's monitor here. We don't want to get it too active right off the open. At the tens, there could be some volatility. And for you guys trading prop accounts and evaluation accounts, right? I'm sure you've been through it before where you're right on the trade, but your account just can't handle the volatility. So be careful right off the open. Price tends to get jittery. You get market on open orders that need to be settled and so on and so forth. And sometimes jumping in right at the open can lead to a fail. So we want to be mindful of that. But immediately, the one thing that stands out to us is that we traded 73.90. We opened at 73.95, and price could only manage looking lower by 2 ticks. Okay, only 11 contracts came off at the low, so we have a nice little taper there. Let's see what we get here. Remember, our first reference is what? Yesterday's high, 74.10. At that point, with overnight high being 74.12, that gives us a tight range for us to monitor this move higher. All right, so I'm looking at, let's see how this first 15-minute candle prints. I know a lot of you trade a 5-minute. I prefer to be on the 15-minute because it just gives me a broader look. And a rule of thumb for me is if the first 5-minute print is a doji, then I'm sitting out until the next one prints. And at that point, if the first 15 minutes of doji, I'm going to kind of sit out and let that settle. I don't want to get chopped up in that volatility. Yeah. So anyway, just to review yesterday, I had that trade on. I think I took off like 18 points at the high, and then price started to pull back. And I admittedly, guys, I stayed in that way too long. I had 18 points on the last runner, and I think I covered it for like 7. Don't do that. Make sure that you just close the trade. When you have the money there, take it. Don't think about it. Just click the close button, figure it out later. It's better to click the close button with the money in your account than to sit there wondering if it's going to hit your target or so on and so forth. Be greedy on your exits and be kind of judicious on your entries. All right, that'll serve you well. Okay, so here we are testing higher. Let's check out what we have with the internals. All right, so immediately jumping out, we have the VIX is flat. We are 1-to-1 positive on the NYSE, 1.5 positive on the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ is already testing its overnight high. Interestingly enough, guys, I think we're seeing sector rotation because the Russell is trading down, and we saw that yesterday. Now, heads up, too, because yesterday the Russell was weak and price broke, right? So it was divergent, and I know it's only one day, but is the Russell now leading the market? We'll see. Right now, immediately off the open, we have the Russell weaker. NASDAQ is trading its high. Let's watch NQ to see if it gains any traction above the overnight high. All right. Hey, J Trades. J Trades, you did a great job, man. Thank you for all your insights. Thanks, J Trades. That means a lot, buddy. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all support. If you guys watching on socials, join us in the pit. In the pit trade chat, you can see that on your screen there. Reverie says, I think I'll name this crude formation the Manny, none of our baseball coach host. Super flattered, dude. Super flattered. I'm blushing somewhere. All right, so let's check this out. Let's see where we're going here. Immediately, I'm going to monitor the high, 74.01 quarter. 27 contracts came off at the high, and it looks like we're petering out here, guys. If you guys have the market blueprint, which is posted on my X feed at Manny_trends on X, as well as the execution clock, I'm posting those there. Do me a favor, get to that X feed, smash that like button. But the execution clock is going to be how we set our trades, the kind of the cadence of our trades, and you'll know what we're looking for within the first hour of today's trade. There are a few tools like it, guys. Put that in your arsenal. Use it every day. And what I suggest you do is monitor it first. And I talk about it here every day. I'm going to do a live stream workshop on it soon. In fact, this weekend, I'm working on preparing the materials for that. Thanks, Reverie. I appreciate the support, buddy. All right, so price is stalling out here. We kind of traded up, tested this high of this distribution, and now we're fading. So stay alert right here. Nothing to do just yet. All right, let's be patient off the open. It's only been 10 minutes of trade. It looks like I'm in a short trade here on the algorithm. Okay, let's see. Algo has me short. I should have mentioned it before. I'm running 3 different algorithms, and while I was going through my open, it got me short at 73.99. Let's see what happens on this trade. Looking for that first target at 73.9. Oh, just got it. So you can see here, first target just filled, came off for a gain of 5 points. So next target is 73.89. Let's see if we can get a fill down there. We're going to immediately tighten up the risk on it to make sure that if price does reverse violently, that we secure some profit on that trade. All right, so guys, we're testing the opening print. We're right now, we're through it, and price is picking up a little bit here. Monitoring the ticks as well, and immediately what I'm noticing is that NQ, it looks like it went over the overnight high by a few ticks and is fading. Also, the Russell is leading. Keep that, put that on your chart somewhere. Get a small screen of it, or at least monitor the price on it. Because it led the move lower yesterday, and it seems like it's doing the same today. As we do every day, we have to keep an eye on crude. It's straight. It looks like it's just grinding lower at 94.39, so keep an eye on that. Not a big change there. And we're going to monitor the VIX, but the VIX is a tough read on a Friday, to be honest. It tends to act a little squirrely, as you tend to see people put on VIX protection over the weekend, especially in this kind of this geopolitical environment that we're in. All right, let me know what you guys are seeing out there. Let me know. Hit me up. Leave a comment. You get something to drink. 9:41 on the clock. Do me a favor. Let me know where you're trading from. I had yesterday, interestingly enough, guys, I realized there was a trader that was tuning in from Iraq. Guys, can you believe that? Iraq. Like, I don't know if it was Baghdad or something, but yeah, I found that to be really interesting. Reverie says crude at a make or break level, bearish break below, bullish backdrop is a big signal. My read is that after the last 2 day shakeout, attempts that couldn't take out a close below 90, I read as bullish. Oh, thanks for the levels, Rev. I appreciate it. Appreciate those levels, bud. All right, so guys, I just got taken out of break even on the algo trade. It reduced my risk, pulled me down to break even. Always good to have the Auto X on, as it automatically executes those trades for me. Conversely, here's the thing, right? So I'm running 2 of them, and you can see here that this one, the PTG A10, is not really working out so great right now. Let's take a look at our Thinkorswim chart that has all our day time frame references on it. All right, immediately trading back up. Let's see how this shakes out. I had to switch over the account number on the A10 so I can show you guys. Okay, so it has me short at 73.89. And here's the thing, guys, about the algos. What I love about them is sometimes I'm long in one account and short in another, and it's mind-boggling, right? I kind of get like, it's hard to have 2 positions. It's like it's cognitive cognitive dissonance, right? It's hard for the brain to hold two opposing positions at the same time. And when that happens, I just realized that after this, the short trade got taken out. In actuality, no, I was short in both of them. So yeah, that's fine there. Let's see if the 810 keeps me short here. Let's see. Let's check this out. Nope. Thank you so much. All right, let's see what happens here, guys. We just went down through the open and then reclaimed it. All right, so there's no real reason for me to hold on to this other than to let the algo execute it. I kind of always tell myself to stay out of the way, right? Let it handle the risk. The risk is preset. I set those out, but like I said, it's really hard to hold two different opinions at the same time. So this particular model has a bit wider of a risk range. So that's 5 points down. I'm not feeling great about this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close it down. I'll close it down and it'll go lower, so that's fine. Oh, there we go. It just took me out. I think it's a 6-point loss. It's, you know, whatever. Obviously, I'm not going to feel happy about that. Nobody likes a happy loser. But I did. At least I got one scale out of this one. So screw it. Not the way I want to start the day, but who does, right? Who wants to start the day with a loser? With a bigger loser than the winner. All right, let me check out what's going on the feed, see if there's any news coming through. Stuart says NQ is ripping. Oh, man, it broke out strong. Good eye, Stu. Yep, it broke out strong. They're divergent here, guys. So be cautious up here because not only is the NASDAQ ripping, but the Russell's dipping. And that's the same look we had yesterday. But our internals now are mixed. So the NYSE is down 1-to-1 negative. NASDAQ is up. Obviously, it's ripping. But let's see. Not much to see there. So Stuart points out SNDK, NVIDIA, MU, and Tesla, all highs of day. Yeah, look at Tesla ripping up 3%. NVIDIA up 2.6%. Apple, 2.5%. And Microsoft is kind of just, you know, flat for the day. We'll see what happens here. The VIX is dipping, though. The VIX is dipping. So let's watch that. It's not typically what you see here. All right, guys, we're approaching the overnight high here, all right? So stay alert. Remember, this is kind of forming out of our most bullish argument, right? We went down, we tested through the open, we trapped some guys, and now we're ripping right back up to the upside, all right? So stay alert. Let's see if we get the breakout here. We discussed what we needed to see for that breakout to be tradable. We want to see price demonstrate some acceptance above yesterday's high, above the overnight high, that being 74.10 to 74.12. All right. So if price just looks above, right, and just, you know, closes maybe a 5-minute candle above there, I wouldn't necessarily think that that's acceptance. I want to see at least 2 closes above it. And I want to see a couple of stabs down that get absorbed before I enter. And at that point, look, it's better to pay up with more confirmation than to try to buy a dip and get run over. But I'm sure you guys know that. I'm sure you guys are aware of it. And if you're not, heads up. It's a good one to know. All right, let me see what this one's doing. Let's see what this one's doing. All right. All right, guys, we're about to test yesterday's high, 74.10. That is not 74.0950 is the current high of the day. That is not the high of the day, but the current high of the day. So let's just mark out that high of the day up here. You can see it. I'm going to highlight it with this yellow marker. That's 70. That's the range, 74.10 to 74.12. Yesterday's high and the overnight high kind of marked out and visualized for us, so we can stay alert to whatever happens there. We're looking for price to get above, close above there, and then we want to see, price demonstrate some acceptance, meaning being able to hold the level. Remember, we could even pull back as low as 74.02, and at that point, even if we get above 74.12 and we pull back 10 points to 74.02, nothing changes. It's still bullish. That would be a standard pullback in ES. Pulling back here some. All right. Small pullback. Nothing major. Delta's pushing higher now. Heads up. Delta's pushing higher. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get the push up to test the overnight high. Decisions will be made up there for sure. Good morning, Vinny Trades. Good morning, Simon. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your support. Appreciate the like. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions. Like, as I said, we're trying to improve the show every day. So let us know what you're thinking, what you're seeing, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. We have a ton of great traders in our orbit that we're going to be sharing things with, that are going to be jumping on here periodically. I'm trying to line something up right now, so hang tight. All right, guys, pushing up here, testing yesterday's high, 74.10. Delta's really strong here, just eyeing it up. We have a close to 300 contracts traded at the high. Just strong volume coming into this move. Strong volume coming into this move. Let's see. Let's monitor these. Let me just get this going right here. I want to turn this algo on as it was disabled. You can see in that upper left-hand corner. I want to get it going here. I think we're getting a good move here that might be tradable. So let's see if it can get me into a trade. I like to call these look-mon, no hands trades. I'll alert you guys if it does get me into anything. All right, you'll be the first to know. All right, guys, 74.10, 75, right? And now we're pulling back. This is looking a lot like yesterday, guys, right? where we came to within one tick of a level, and now, it's pulling back. So stay alert here, all right? Let's see. In order for things to, let's see if bulls hold 74.05, all right? Let's see if they can hold 74.05. That seems like a logical micro level for them to hold. I don't necessarily want to execute. Let me see. Okay. This is on all. Make sure I don't let these algos run amok. $74.05 traded just now, $74.05.50. Let's see if it holds. Let's see if bulls take it higher and buy the micro dip. That Russell is now curling a bit. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced yet. It's just printing a 15-minute doji at the low. There's 5 minutes left in that print, but the NASDAQ is ripping, guys. The NASDAQ is almost up almost 400 points, almost up 1.5%. Yeah, and you know how bullish this market is on Fridays. Fridays tend to be my favorite day, just because statistically that's when I've done the best. All right, is this pullback buyable, or are we going to go back down to 74.05 and flush? What's the over under on that, guys? I don't like this high here. I think we need a liquidation break that resets that overnight inventory. All right, moving higher now. Yep, we're petering out. We're coming back. Looks like we're going to come back down. Delta's diverging. Heads up. Heads up. Careful here. All right, look at that. They got absorbed again. Oh, man, dude. Watch the meter here. Let's see. It's a battle going on. Blue means buy. Red means sell. Obvi, right? Obviously. Let's see. All right. Remember, what we're looking at here is on the right-hand meter. That is how many orders are being stacked or being supported right under the current bids and offers. So red, if we're trading 74.08 and you see really blue dominating, that means they're stacking at 74.07.75, 74.07.50. They just keep replenishing their bids in order to keep the market, to absorb sellers that kind of push price down. Conversely, the same thing goes if you're seeing more red, right? I mean, they're replenishing offers above this current spread. The current spread is always just one tick. Right now, if you're trading 74.08, the spread would be 74.08, 74.08 quarter. And then the meter on the left is giving you the actual volume that's transacting, okay? I gain more from the delta divergence, the one on the right, than I do from the one on the left. That's just a heads up. It's a little bit of a nuance. With that being said about Fridays, Friday morning here in Tampa, and the temptation is always to start swinging for the fences, right? You come in excited, you had a great week, all right, you're seeing markets rallying, let's get long, let's just buy any dip, and like I tell the kids that I coach, play for base hits, right? Take your scalps, take your entries with confirmation that price shows acceptance. It's those most obvious trades that are the easy ones. And there's typically 1 to 3, 2 to 4 of those a day. So just wait for that. And let me know who's already green for the week. Anybody green out there? My God, listen to what Manny is saying. Huge point. Thanks. Thanks, Reverie. Appreciate the support. Turbo fan says, good morning, gentlemen. Manny, what is the delta divergence? Turbo, sorry, I didn't see your question earlier. Did you get that? I think I kind of went through it. Let me know if you need a deeper explanation on it. Okay, looks like, wait a minute. What is going on right here? I'm a little bit confused. Oh, crap. Yep, I'm in a long here. Algo's run amok. All right, just got a target filled. Let me get the account there for you guys. Hang tight. Oh boy. All right. Getting that big spike up. Huge spike up. What is going on? Volatility. All right, so that's that level here. We're looking above. We're coming back in. Let's tighten up the risk. Make sure we stay in alignment. Green, sorry, I missed your explanation. It is okay. I will look it up. Hey, Turbo fan. Yeah, I'll go over through it in a minute. Let me just monitor this trade. I don't like what I'm seeing in the Russell. I've got a bit of exposure here. I want to make sure I tighten up. Take $300, step aside. All right. Just makes sense. A bit too long there for my liking. I didn't realize that I had both of them on the same account, right? So then I'm like long, total 5 E-minis. It's just too much on that trade, and now we're coming back to test yesterday's high. All right, so let's check out what happens here. Let's remember, take your scales along the way. My head's on a swivel over here. Come on, baby, let's go. It's Friday. Let's go. Pay me. Come on. Let's go. There it is. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Michigan sentiment. Oh, all right, large void. Michigan sentiment miss. All right. I didn't have live squawk on. Let me tune that up. Did I miss it already? All right. Let's see. Michigan sentiment. The current conditions are 47.8. All right. You know what? I'll read that later after I hit my target. Let's go. Come on. Pay me, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys. If you're looking at my chart right here, I just got that target. So that's great. Great. Like that one. So that one's up about $750. Nice. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Damn, that's why I love Fridays. Dude, if I only had one day to trade, it would be a Friday. For real. Like it's just I just do better on Fridays, man. I don't know why. Especially on a week like this, right? Where prices just been ripping higher. All right, let's take a look at our Thinkorswim chart. Make sure we're properly in alignment. Let's remove this gold bar. Look, guys, so that's the overnight high. We're above it now, right? And we got a 15-minute close just above. What do you guys think? Is that bullish or bearish? Let me know. Is that bullish or is that bearish? What do you guys think? Bullish or bearish? Let me know. Stuart says bullish. Yep, I've agreed with you. Probably the call expiry day biggest. All right, 74.16 is our current high. Okay. And we had 42 contracts traded at that high. This is you know, so the Russell's curling up a bit, but the NASDAQ is just way too strong. Russell's not positive on the day, getting a little bounce in the VIX. Oil's just chopping around in balance. I think Reverie said 99. Let me just double check. Okay, couldn't take out a close below 90. Okay, so he's bullish above 90. Write that number down, guys. If you guys are trading crude, bullish above 90. Bullish since we couldn't close above 90. So Turbofan asked, Manny, what is delta divergence? All right, so let's get into it. Right. So delta divergence, Turbofan, is when more in the, so we're talking about delta divergence specifically as it pertains to order flow. Okay. And what delta divergence is when we see either, let's say we see buyers hitting bids, or trying to lift off, trying to lift offers, trying to get price higher. And they're applying more buying to the current bids and offers, but price is not budging. It's just staying there. That means it's being absorbed, right? So price, if they're hitting it, and price is starting to is staying neutral or even moving slightly lower, contrary to that move to what the order flow is dictating, that's what we call a delta divergence. Let me know if that makes sense for you. I know everybody's trading, everybody's monitoring their positions. Okay, thanks. All right, Turbofan says that it makes sense, so we're good there. All right. I mean, we're just up here. We're just trading higher. Let's see. Where do we run into trouble on the market blueprint? Let's just take a look at that. 74.38. So watch 74.38, guys. It's an important level. But we are, 20 points below that. So room to run here for sure. Let's watch this. Okay. All right, 9 there. I'm just kind of stalling out here a bit. Let's watch it. We're still balancing above yesterday's high. Coming back down to test the overnight high, which is 74.12. Yesterday's high, 74.10. Remember, nothing really bearish. Everything is just the pullback until we get below 74.02, 7400. All right. So stay alert here. Remember, take your scales along the way. If you're looking to pass your evaluation or you're looking to get to that payout, take it while it's there. A bird in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush. Michigan sentiment, though. So Large Void points out that the Michigan sentiment number was a miss. And since then, what have we done? We haven't really gone anywhere. So we're entering that window now. If you following the execution clock, right? So definitely tighten up, stay alert. Even though we're just in the, in the opening of that window, um, let's watch the divergence here. Watch for any clues that price might be stalling. You never really know if what it's why charts are so important, right? Because you never know if there's a shift at that specific. Like we wouldn't know if this selling is the high of the day, right? We only know if it breaks structure. So um, keep an eye on that. We're kind of petering out here. All right, algo got me out. Took me out at break even. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Let's see the CCI. Let me enable this. I don't necessarily want to get long here, but I'm gonna let it do it. Going to let it do its thing. All right, breaking lower here, guys. If you guys are following the execution clock, you know what we're expecting here. So stay alert, right? You don't want to be. Well, I can't tell you what to do, so I don't want to get into preaching like that. But typically, I'm looking for that low to form into that window before I start executing anything. Um, the fact that we're petering out here, the Russell's on its low, Nasdaq is kind of paused here. VIX is a little bit higher. Crude is just a chop fest. Did we find support? Yeah, I let's let this form out, guys. I'm waiting on this. I'm not doing anything here. A couple of good, 2 wins, 3 wins with a or I got 4 wins with a pre-market trade, and the one loser bruiser. Look at this. Just came back, tested yesterday's high, 74.10, boom, and then started moving higher, up by a point off that level. Yeah, Large Void points out that was the volatility spike we saw. Right, right. Yep. So that rush of volume coming in. I think this thing is going to beeline for 74.30, 74.35. I'd love to be in that move, but I much more prefer to be green. See, because like in trading, see, trading is weird. Like when people ask me about what I do or whatever, I always tell them it's difficult because in trading, the common thinking is you're either making money or you're losing money. But that's not wholly true, right? Like you can trade and be flat and not do anything. And being flat and not trading at all, not executing is almost like making money, right? At least that's the way I look at it. Let's see if we can get up there, get past this 74.16 level. Make sure we don't have algos run amok here. Long, Reverie points out long cash is a position. Fully agree. Yeah. It took me a while to learn that. I used to sit down at my desk and think that, I used to hear the opening bell with like a trigger, right? Like opening ding, 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 ding. All right, let's go. And it'd be like, 9:35 and I'd have like 2 stop outs. That's where that, I don't know if you guys heard earlier, but I was talking about having that. I have that first 5 minute doji rule. So the first 5 minute is a doji. I'm not executing. I'm waiting. I'm sitting that out. That's where that rule came from. Just like blowing your wad before, failing that evaluation before you even get to like the first half hour of the day. All right, let's check out what we have going on here on socials. Not much happening there. Let's just check this out. All right. We have, oh man, where is that? All right. NASDAQ printed a 15-minute doji at the high, and the Russell's curling higher. Consequently, the VIX is also up higher. Scalp long, 74.13 quarter. Looking for 70, I don't know, 74.18. 5 points on that. Yep. That's what we're looking for. That's what we are looking for. You get that up on the screen. I'm gonna have to find a way to just, I don't know, maybe just let the account number show. I'm not sure if that's safe though. Great. Let's see. Reverie said, "Great point. I find that is helpful psychologically." Yep. I put it on SGOV when not in a position, so at least I have that couple of dollars positive, even when I'm not in any position. What's SGOV? What do you mean by that? All right, petering out here again. What does SGOV mean? Short-term government bonds. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I'm glad I asked because I would have never gotten that. No way. Short-term. What's the yield on those? Well, how much you get paid on those over what period of time? What does that look like? iShares 0 to 3 month Treasury bonds ETFs. Okay. Got out of one of those. Let's see. All right. So he shares an image. Got it. Check. All right. Good to know. Large void. Thank you. Appreciate it. Interesting. It is daily. What do you mean daily? What does that mean? Sorry. I'm glad I'm asking because you always learn new stuff. That's why I love being around you guys because it's just asking questions is really what this is all about, right? Traders helping traders, educating each other, helping each other out. Are they paying you daily? All right, guys, price is moving higher here, looking good. About to get that 5-point target. Let's go. Let's go. Price goes up every day. Turbo Fan says price goes up every day, and on the beginning of the month, it rebalances and rotates and gives you the difference as the dividends. Shoot, I like that. Every day rebalances. That's pretty cool. Who doesn't like something that says everyday pay, right? For the last year, it's like 4 to 4.5% a month. Oh, for the last, geez, what? That's, oh my god, that's. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna bookmark this. That sounds like a really good. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that's smoking. Very cool. Very cool. You just check the comments on socials. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we've got some really cool things in line in store for you guys. Like, so yesterday, me and the team were interviewing some producers for the show to kind of help us out and raise the quality of the show, because we have so much content, so much data, news that we can be sharing in real time. It's kind of hard for one guy to manage it all. So stay tuned for that. You guys are gonna love it. Mm-hmm. Want to make sure we get that 74.18 quarter. Come on, baby, let's go. Don't disappoint me now. Watch the delta. Hey, good morning, Rich. How are you, bud? Appreciate your support yesterday. Appreciate you coming on and sharing stuff. All right, got that target, guys. Boom, 5 points. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, it's good. It's a fruitful morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Fruitful morning. Oh, the CCI's got me long, dude. Hang on. I didn't realize that. Hang tight. Let me get that account up for you guys. Oh, this is awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. Let's go. No way. Dude, it just closed out the trade. Uh 400 bucks on that trade. Take those base hits, guys. The base hits, right? Just play small ball. Yeah, sure, Rich. Come on in. Come on in, buddy. Always room for your input. Hey, guys, we're going to be joined by Rich from Handle Stats. Like we said yesterday, Rich has a really unique approach. I love Rich's stuff. It's a data-driven approach, very analytical approach. He programs a lot of his stuff into Excel to analyze data and come up with a statistical edge. Just really great stuff. So hang tight. I think Rich is going to be joining us soon. In fact, while we wait for Rich, we always want to hear what Rich had. Okay, hey there, Rich. Um, let me, while Rich gets settled in, right? I'm just going to uh,
Join
use
us
the
for
use
Live
the
from
little
the Pit,
boys' room,
where
Rich.
we deliver
Give me a
high
sec here,
energy
okay?
trading insights.
I want to grab a quick
Experience live
drink. I want to make
preparation
sure
and
that I'm dialed in
execution
and I'm
with
tuned up,
real trades and actionable
and I'm
setups.
paying attention for
Trade
when Rich
smart, not
for what Rich has
impulsively.
to share.
Expect
Get a note,
precision and
get a
discipline
pen.
in every move. Watch the charts, feel the momentum, and make informed decisions. Join us daily at 9 a.m. and become a confident trader without the noise. Subscribe to Pitbull Traders on YouTube and
Everybody hear me in the pit room? I think I have this on correct. Okay, thank you.
There he is.
Yeah, hey Manny.
The people on socials can hear you. Wait, let me monitor this straight first.
Let me turn my volume up here a little bit. I'm only going to be here a little bit, Manny, because I'm going to go skiing today.
Oh, nice.
A Basin.
Rich loves skiing.
Yeah, A Basin said this is the last weekend for A Basin. I don't want to go on Saturday or Sunday. Okay. So I'm gonna do it today. So I'm gonna take off anyway. Remember yesterday, Manny, when I was telling you about my 1440 levels and the 40 level. And you can see that, towards the end of the day, they did dip down there and they kind of hit it. They didn't go down to my 1 SD level yesterday, but they hit it and then closed above it. And then last night when they reopened, they did dip. They opened below it and, have done nothing but go straight up since. So that was and I make my lines like thicker when I really think they're going to be good support. So you can see that like these are thin lines, these are thicker, and I showed you that those I had 3 1440 lines. That this market's going to go up unless it would go down and take this out, which I don't think is happening. And my target is still 74, 71, 88, and then 74, 92, 70. And I think today here in the ES at 74, 24, 16. But I think that might actually it might take that out today. I mean, this is just an incredibly strong market, and I don't think we're going to be done until we hit up here, probably this 92. It for sure should hit this 74, 74, 71, and then I think 92. But that'll probably be next week. And,
all right, I'm sorry, Rich. Can you? I just want to make sure that we get those levels marked off here. Can you repeat that? The level for today?
Well, the level, my one standard deviation level today is 74, 24, 16. And
74, 24, 16. Got it. We just traded 74, 22.
And we're just about there. And remember, that's one standard deviation. So that's like 65, 65% of the time, that holds the market in. But today it's really looking like it wants to, keep on going. And we did hesitate here at the, they went up and hit that like yesterday's high. They kind of went through there and pushed back down once early, and then once they closed above it, they're going. But if they can take this out, I have no resistance until my actual number up here. So
if they can take out 74, 24,
yeah, 74, 24. Yeah. That's the 1 SD level, and you can see it's kind of right. I mean, what's the high right now? The high is 74, 22, 75. I mean, they're 1 1/4 from that right now. If they do go back down, as long as they stay above this 73, 99, 75, 74 even, they're going to be good. If they go back below there, that's my 480. That's one of my 480 gold levels. If they go back below there, they might rotate.
Below which level, Rich?
The 73, 99, 75. So say 7,400.
Okay, 7,400.
If they bounce off of here, they could go back down and test this. And if they start trading below it, an hourly close below there would put them in a position to take it down to 73, 78, and maybe even the settlement, and maybe even this, go back down to this 14, this level. But if they hang up here and get above here, there's nothing to stop them. There's absolutely nothing in here to stop them. I don't have anything. I mean, you may have some numbers that you generate some way. And remember, I say that these standard deviation levels are levels that the market should react at. It doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, you can generate your numbers and you may have things that work. I mean, I always say that my work complements whatever you're doing. You just have to be aware of those standard deviation levels, though. I mean, look at this. It got $1.25 away, and it's backing off. I mean,
that was within $2. That's pretty accurate. Yeah. So I always consider, if I'm, so for me, just so that I can manage my risk properly, I consider a level. All levels are a 4 to 5 point band, right? That's accurate for me. If you get to within 4 or 5 points, for me, that's a hit.
Yeah, and you can say 10 points in the NASDAQ.
yeah, for sure, 100%. Yep. Good point.
Because that's just the wild beast. But this is, I mean, this is where I would expect a reaction, and we are kind of getting that there. And as I say, it could rotate back down there. Yeah, and I also always watch my my BGL. That's the big green line. It's the 21 period moving average. You can see that this was yesterday's range. I didn't update my charts because I was working on some stuff this morning. And anyway,
all right, that's great. So 7,400 on the downside, 7,424 on the upside. So we can treat 7,424 sort of like, if we get above it, bullish above, right? If we get above it, then that level gets reclaimed, then we should start looking for higher prices.
But then I'm looking for the 74, 71, 88. The 2 standard deviation level up here is 74, 78, 82. So, sure. I mean, there's nothing. I don't have anything. Other people may have other numbers that they generate. I don't know what everybody looks at, but for me, there's nothing in between above there to stop this. Nothing.
Yeah, I'm looking at 74.38 to 74. Let's call it 74.38 to 74.42. As a place where we're going to price will react there 100%. Whether it holds this rally back, I don't know. Not much can hold this back for long.
Yeah, and the NASDAQ, we can go look at my NASDAQ chart here real quick.
That would be great.
Let me. I did not. Let's see. I did not update this. Let's grab this real quick. 2003. Okay, there's the NASDAQ SD levels. You can see that we already went through the 1 SD level here.
Right.
And so it's I don't have anything to stop this up to here. And I have a price objective right now, a real short-term price objective on this chart. Remember yesterday I was talking about that 28.83.35, 28.835.
Mm-hmm.
And here at they of course they closed below it. They settled at 28.871, and then they kind of went up here. This what was that? This is my 480. Let me put this on an hourly chart. Actually, I do want to do this 480. I want to look at this. This is right here. Come on. Let me edit this real quick, and I'll put this in here. What was that? That open was 73.75. Eight.
And if you're just joining us, I'm Manny Pitbull Traders. We're joined by Rich from Handle Stats. We're tracking the ES. He gave us some levels on the ES, 74.24 and 7400, as well as he's about to give us a few NQ levels. So for you NQ guys, listen up, pay attention.
Okay, 60. Wait to 60. Okay. Here's the NQ. As I say, remember yesterday we were talking, and I had this objective of 28, 835 in the Nasdaq, which it did not make yesterday, and then it settled right here at 28, 711, and of course then it punched up here, and what is that? That high is 28, 814. So it got it that's like 20 points away. That's close to the Nasdaq. It did the same thing over here, but it couldn't take it. And then it took it out, and it what was this? This was last night at like 10 o'clock Eastern, and then it took it out and went down, and it went down and stopped at the gold level, that one of my gold levels that I had developed from the day before, and that held, and then it went back up here. It took out this. It's taken out this one SD level. My next target up here is 29 547, and then of course I have this 30,000, which I'm thinking that it's going to go to 30,000 eventually. It may zigzag on its way up there, but today I have nothing. And I mean, my next level is 29 313 in the Nasdaq. That would be two standard deviations. And here, if this level looks like it's this one standard deviation level looks like it should become support now. If it doesn't, it could go down here to this gold level. It would have to trade below 28,773 to turn negative right now, and that would even be, that's still a short-term negative, because my big support area now is this 28,500, basically 502, but 28,500, and that's one of those 1440 levels that I've talked about. Let me see, I can go here. I've got a few of those in the Nasdaq, and I mean, unless it could go all the way down here to 28,076 and take that out, this market, I mean, that would, if it had a daily close below there, I'd be a little bit concerned, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, this is continuing to march on.
Yeah, it's very, very, very strong right now. But yeah, you guys, you got the NQ levels, you got Rich's ES levels.
Take a snapshot. Get a snapshot of the screen. I mean, there's these are just my levels for today. These
oh great.
And the gold levels and the 1440 levels stay. I have some other levels, but this is, I'm actually looking at it like, if they can get above 30,000, they're going to go to 31,000 and probably 31,464, and I think that's where we're headed. So, and the ES is
7424. Rich framed out the ES for us, guys. Make sure you pay attention. Write those down.
Yeah, here I'll give me the opportunity to get a little screenshot of this.
Get a screenshot there. I'm going to do the same. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Thanks for sharing that, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, unless as long as they stay above the 73.99, 7,400, as long as they stay above that, they're good. They would really have to fall below the 73.78 to and when I say below that, I mean like hourly closes below these levels.
Right.
And these 1440 levels, that requires a daily close below them. I mean, hourly, you get an hourly bar below this, it's only really meaningful if you get a daily close below these purple levels. So at the end of the day, at 4 o'clock when the cash market's closing, if you're below there, that's usually not a good sign. But right now, that doesn't look like that's happening. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you.
That's great to know. Good job, thanks, Rich.
And as I say, I really wanted to point out how when because we talked about this yesterday, I said it could go down and test that, and I had a standard deviation level just below that, which it didn't make it to, but this held in there. And then on the reopen last night, when Globex reopened, they opened below it, and they've done nothing but go straight up since. And that's why they're this one SD level is why they're reacting right there. Anyway,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's about all I have. And the other thing is, I think I shared. You know, I'm watching Intel very closely, and I think I told you this yesterday that my price objective in Intel right now, my immediate price objective, is actually it's up here at 129.87. I think we'll be up there. The way this is going, we're going to be up there by next week.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Give us that level again.
129.87. That's my target. We are going to make it there. It's absolutely going to go there before it backs off.
129.87, smoking. Woo.
Well, I mean, you know, it was down a little bit yesterday. Now it's up. It made a new 52-week high. And NVIDIA made a new 52-week high. Yeah, smoking. I mean, it's up $6 today.
Wow.
And
that's awesome. That's just super strong, super bullish. Guys, if you're tuning in, Rich has been banging the drum about Intel for a long time. It's trading 115 today. He thinks it can go as high as 120, right?
No, 120. It's going to 129 right now.
129.
129.87. I think it'll be. I think my objective for the end of the year was 210, but it may take that out.
I'm sure you wanted to.
That's why I'm going skiing today. I'm just taking the day off. I mean, I'm dancing already.
No, that's a smart move. Go enjoy your time. Rich has crushed it on that Intel trade. He gave it to us early, long from the 20s. Just an awesome monster trade right there. That's a career trade. That's a Paul Tudor Jones trade right there.
It is. It's the second best trade I've ever had in my life where I rode something out this way.
Well, that's amazing, Rich. Thanks for sharing that with us. Go enjoy your ski time, bud. You've earned it. Intel's earned it for you. Goodbye down there. Bravo. Yeah. Cheers for you.
Thanks, Manny. And I'm going to work on my monthly stuff. I should have some monthly statistics that I would share, you know, Monday or Tuesday next week. So I'll come in the morning and I'll go over them with you before I do it. But I have some really amazing monthly stuff that's coming up. I told you I'm rewriting that whole program.
Right. Well, folks.
Yeah, I'll share a little bit of it and give you an idea about what I do from month to month. And my monthly program gives me an idea. You know, as the year develops, I can tighten down what I'm looking for. And right now, I told you I'm looking for 19% on the year.
19%.
The SPX, 19%, which will take us up around 8,100.
Woo! Ooh, that's awesome. Bulls want to hear that, right? Stick around for that, guys. We're going to
a few months for that to go, Manny, but
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I have on my radar, you know, I've been tracking for over, like I said yesterday, I've been tracking for over a year, looking for 7,450, 7,500. So wrote about that at 6,400, and I just had no idea. I thought we would probably hit that later in the year. I had no idea we'd be testing it during May.
Yeah,
it just goes to speak to the strength and the momentum of this move.
It's really amazing. It really is amazing. But
yeah, guys, we're parabolic. We're seeing I was reading somewhere that 7% of all trading days are all-time highs. So that's kind of an interesting fact. So to witness a 7% of anything is pretty special.
You know, I've actually got I can like check those stats for us someday. I about new highs.
Oh wow, that's quite a big data.
Yeah, I get a pretty good
sample size.
Yeah. Okay, Manny, I'm going to take off. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate the support.
Thank you, Manny, and I appreciate you. I know you work really hard, and you know, I enjoy what you do, and you know, I hope to share some more and hang out with you a little bit.
That's great. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it. Go enjoy the slopes. You've earned it.
Okay, thanks. Bye, guys.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Rich. Rich is, like I said, Rich is always welcome on the show. He's a great contributor, has a unique approach. You always want to have it's always good to have, multiple trading buddies and multiple people, multiple friends that you trade with, whether that be, mindset, whether that be, support on those bad days, whether that be, technical or statistical support. Always good to, make sure that you have a good wide range of traders in your network. I'm sure Rev has quite a bit in his network. Oh yeah, look at Light Crude. Great channel there, Rich. Yep, seeing that. No trader is an island gap. Yep, I agree with you. Yep. Hey guys, look. So hey, we called it here, right? We came down. We tested yesterday's high. We tested the 9-period moving average. We trapped some traders below that 15-minute low, and then we wicked and we launched. Awesome trade there. I bought it at 74.10. Looking for 74.25. I had a scale out at 74.15, and just looking for higher prices here. If you guys are following the execution clock, that was a dip right there. That was our AM low. And if you're not, go check it out on the feed. Go check it out on X. Give me a follow or give me a like. If you're watching this on whatever platform you're tuning in from, do us a favor. It goes a long way. Hit that like button. Trying to, I've never taken social media that seriously. I've been pretty much a lurker, but I'm trying to build up some support, trying to build up a following. I think I have some decent stuff to offer folks, offer traders. So hopefully you get your support if you like where we're dishing, and we have some more coming down the pike soon. See if I get this target here though, right? Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Get up there. Obviously, we're not going to just bust right through it very easily, right? We're going to need to, I mean, they could make it easy. I'm okay with that. And oh God, my kid just bought something on Apple. We have to have a talk about that later. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in right now, we're tracking the ES. We were looking for a pullback to yesterday's high. We got that at 74.10. We put on the long position there. We got a 5-point scale at 74.15. Looking for 74.20 on the next. And then ultimately 74.25. See if that runner has legs. It's been a decent day, not without its, it's not without its, losses or so on, but decent day. I think that good trading is really more about I think it's really more about your being a good loser, like being able to handle losses, understand that that's part of the game. It's when we get overly competitive and expect too much from ourselves and think that we're just going to be able to, every trade will be a winner is when we start running into trouble. This V-shaped recovery, though, gosh, I mean, NASDAQ is moving higher now, inching higher. This has been an epic V-shaped recovery. I mean, you can see it so clearly on this hourly chart here on the left. This is a 2-hour chart of ES. We called out this low, the 63.53 low. Initially, this low here, let's just blow this out a little bit. Hang on, hang tight. If you guys are watching, we had this low here that was at 63.66, actually 63.60. Then we came down, we breached it by like 7 points, 63.53 quarter, and it's just been a face ripper, parabolic move to the upside, beelining for 74.50, 7,500. At this point, I mean, I don't know. Next week, do we get there? What do you guys think? Let me know. I mean, at this point, I think that I mean, if we hit 74.25, 74.50, if I was long, if I had a swing position on from here, and I was looking for that move up to 74.50, 7,500, I would obviously have already have profit taken off, but I would not be being too greedy about the move. I would be definitely satisfied with an excellent trade. There's a great J Trade said there's a great book on that. The Best Loser Wins. Hey, J Trades, couldn't agree with you more. Excellent book. I read it myself. That's actually where I got that concept from. Super good book. I highly recommend it. Tom Hugard's the author. Yep. He's a really good author. I'm not sure if he's a good author, but he seems like to be a decent trader. I don't follow his work, but I did read the book. I thought the book was a fantastic read. Moving. All right, guys. Looks like let's see, 74 quarter. Let me see what this post. 74.20. Looking for 74. Looking for 74.20 quarter. Got it. All right, that's filled. Oh shit, I have the wrong chart up. Sorry, guys. All right, I had an offer at 740 quarter. I had 3 contracts on the trade, so I got 5 points. I got 10 points. Looking for 15 on the last. I'm going to try to time the exit a little bit better. If you're following the execution clock, I'm using that. It's funny how Rich is going skiing and like it's like 85 degrees here in Tampa. The S&P is like matching the temperature in Tampa. Matching the temperature in Tampa and matching the altitude for Rich. He's talking about 8,100 by the end of the year. When he first said it, people thought he had too much coffee. Now that we're knocking on the door of 7,450, suddenly seems like everyone's a believer. Isn't that wild that somebody was tuning in from Iraq? That's wild. I could understand like Monaco or something. I don't know. All right, petering out here, slowing down. It's building up energy for another breakout. Just make sure this is tightened up.
Look, if you're actively trading ES or NQ and you're struggling with consistency, chasing moves, or just getting completely chopped to pieces on a daily basis, we need to cut the fluff. I'm going to share the exact missing piece that most retail traders literally never learn. It's the reason why you constantly feel like you're one step behind the market. You see, most traders obsess entirely over price. Honestly, that's exactly the problem. Because you're not wrong about the market direction, you're just late. Welcome to the missing dimension.
Let me ask you something, because I know you've been there. We all have. You do all your prep, you identify the exact support level, and the market comes right down to it. You enter the trade. And then what happens? The market wicks down, hunts your stop, takes you out for a loss, and then, literally seconds later, it rips exactly in the direction you predicted. You got the level right. So why did you get stopped out? It's a visceral pain, isn't it? Nailing the structure, but still bleeding capital because you got chopped up right before the massive run. The hard truth is, the algorithms running this market don't give a damn about your lines on a chart. There is a harsh truth you just have to accept. Being early is the exact same thing as being wrong. Let that really sink in for a second. If you're entirely focused on price levels and waiting on lagging indicators to give you permission to trade, you are guaranteed to be late to the execution. Or you're so early that you get completely swept up in the volatility. In these markets, execution timing directly impacts outcomes. Even milliseconds matter. If you are ignoring the timing of the market's cyclical rotations, it really doesn't matter how great your support and resistance lines are. You're basically trading blind in one dimension.
So, there's a massive shift you need to make right now if you want the professional edge. The amateur focuses strictly on the where, the price. But think about it. Everybody has the exact same charts. Everybody sees the exact same moving averages. The real unfair advantage? That's time. The when. It's not just about where the market is going. It's about knowing exactly when the market is scheduled to move. This is the ultimate difference between blindly reacting to what just happened and professionally executing on what is structurally anticipated to happen next. Let me introduce you to the framework that changes all of this, the execution clock. And let's get one thing straight right off the bat, okay? This is not an indicator. It's not a signal service. And it definitely isn't some prediction tool promising you magic certainty. It is a time-based framework. It's a predictive, time-segmented algorithmic model that identifies the intraday program before it even runs. It takes the highly complex execution timing of the market and simplifies it into something you can actually use. It's about structured anticipation. To understand how this works, you have to understand that the market does not move randomly. It follows cyclical patterns. The execution clock actually categorizes these into 4 primary series days.
from Series Day 1 through Series Day 4, each with either a high or low anticipated directional bias. So we call these S1H, S1L, and so on. By identifying which of these 4 primary programs is actually running, we stop guessing. We can literally categorize the intraday program and map out exactly when the algorithmic rotations are scheduled to hit. Let me show you what this actually looks like in practice. Take a Series Day 1 high, or S1H. Notice how the framework segments the trading session into these highly actionable time zones. You see that first green window there, with a center time of exactly 10:30? That is an actionable time zone. We aren't sitting around waiting for a lagging MACD crossover. We know, going right into the session, that this specific window is highly probable for a local high rotation. You start mapping your price levels directly to these specific timing windows. And look, this isn't some static one-size-fits-all gimmick either. Look at the structure for a Series Day 2 low. The market cycles adapt, and so does the framework. Notice how those windows shift? We have a 10:30 low, a 12:45 high, a 2:30 low. If you've ever wondered why your morning strategy suddenly blows up in the afternoon, or why you always seem to buy the absolute top of the lunchtime chop, well, this is why. You're trading the wrong time window for the specific program running in the market that day. Now, when you're dealing with a Series Day 3 low, you instantly get the ultimate gift an active trader can have: patience. Because you already know the rotations. You see that red zone from 12 to 1 with the 12:30 center time? If you are tracking this, you aren't panic buying a breakout at 12:15. You already know the algorithmic rotation is scheduled to push lower. You literally stop reacting to every single tick and you start seeing the rotation before it even happens. And on a Series Day 4 high, you get the final proof of the concept. Just look at how precisely these time zones are mapped out: 10:30, 12:20, 2:30, 3:30. When you take your meticulously researched price levels and align them with these specific time rotations, that is how you actually capture the real meat of the swing. You aren't early, you aren't late, you are executing exactly when the volume and the program are designed to turn the market. This right here is what separates retail traders getting stopped out from professionals executing with precision. So it really comes down to understanding the anatomy of what you're looking at. Let's break down the 3 structural pillars of these actionable time zones. First up, you have the windows. These are specific, calculated time ranges where we anticipate a local high or low to actually form. Second, the center times. This is the absolute apex, the highest probability moment of the anticipated reversal right inside that window. And third, the algorithmic rotations. This is the underlying short-term time delta logic that identifies the most likely path for the rest of the session. It's math, it's time, and it gives you structured anticipation. So why does all this matter? What's the real takeaway here? It comes down to real-world outcomes. Period. This time-based framework is how you finally secure better entries. It's how you stop chasing candles that have already made their move. It explicitly ends those premature entries where you jump the gun and get chopped out of your position. You literally transform from a trader who reacts to the market out of fear and FOMO into a trader who anticipates the market with structure and absolute confidence. This is how you unlock unmatched intraday consistency. I want you to think about the trader you are right now, relying solely on price, constantly feeling a step behind the algorithms. Now contrast that with the trader who knows exactly when the rotation is coming. Imagine the clarity, the structure, the confidence. If you're genuinely serious about improving your execution and you want to stop trading blind in one dimension, this is exactly where you start. The clock is ticking. You can get the roadmap for tomorrow's open inside the Pitbull Traders.
That's wild. One of the I was searching Baghdad, California, and one of the terms that came out was Baghdad Caliphate. Ugh. Baghdad, California is a ghost town located on historic Route 66 in the Mojave Desert in San Bernardino County. Reorganized primarily as a former railroad stop and for setting the U.S. record for the longest drought, 767 days. Founded in 1883, the town was bypassed by Interstate 40 in the 1970s, is now largely abandoned, known only for its historic cemetery. Yikes. When your town has been known for its longest drought, yeah, that's not going to get a lot of people to do. Looks like it's in some type of valley. Longest drought, 767 days. It's like a 2-year drought, dude. That's wild. There's a movie, Baghdad Cafe. Oh, getting jittery here. We got any news coming out? Getting some divergence here. Some pounding those, replenishing those offers. Probably some profit takes. See which way this goes. Manny, in YouTube, it is running an ad, and it seems of the time cycles, and the narration is very fast. Yep, yeah, that is an ad. I run those when I use the bathroom. Turbo, you think it's too fast? I speed it up because, like, okay, thanks. Yep, I'll adjust that. I speed it up because I just don't need that much time. But thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. I'll slow it down for sure. Feedback is so important. Thank you, Turbo. NASDAQ is grinding higher. DB Hammer. Let's see. Thanks, Hammer. SNDK. Wow, that thing is on a wow. With the Bloomberg. Quite a bit of messages sitting in there. Man, that thing is smoking. All right, guys, I got trailed out of that position. Simultaneously got long in another one. This is a separate account. Man, that's a rip in SNDK. Wow, that's, jeez. It's like, just checking out this chart. Whoa. For context, guys, that's a 1-year bar chart. And for just for color, the low on December 31st, 2025 was 235. It's trading 1479. Holy shit. God damn it. I'm getting this wrong. Why am I not in that in Intel? Jesus. I mean, damn, you got to think that that's, let me monitor this trade. At a certain point, you got to think that that's, I don't know. Is that going to end well? That looks parabolic for sure. All right, 11:10, guys. I ripped that trade off. It's probably going to grind higher, but like I said, a bird in the hand's worth more than two in the bush. I just took it off. I'm pretty good with the 7-8 points. Not going to be greedy on a Friday. I've done well this week. Who knows? Maybe the afternoon offers an opportunity, but let's just talk about what the next trade might be. You can see the algo has me long here, 74.16. I'm risking 6 on that, looking for the first target up at 74.21. The NASDAQ is just continuing to rip higher. What do you guys think? That is the high of the day in? What do you guys think? Let me know. Oh man, looks like I might get take a stop here. Shit.
Feel like such a baby.
Ah, crap. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out of this. Unbelievable. Hey, we got to be careful here. Be careful here. That high is the low came in on time. Does that look like the high? If that high, if that's the high, no, I don't think so. Oh, dang it. All right, I got taken out of that. Trying to reset. I didn't like that stop. I'm gonna have to go into stop loss protocol. Yeah, Bruce. Yep. Tried to test the high and it failed. That's not a good sign. If the NASDAQ weren't so strong, I'd probably, I'd probably look at it differently. But what I don't like about that is the nature of an S4L day on the clock is that often on S4L day, which is what today's configuration is like, you often see these, on an S4L day, you'll often see a reversal. You can see a strong reversal from the mid AM high. Just like on an S4H day, you can see a strong reversal off the lunch high. So that's important to note. It's important to note. I'm going to go over all those nuances. And that's why I frequently say, hey, don't trade the clock, without, just monitor it, follow it, but don't try to employ it. Not yet. CL is ripping. Exactly. Yep. And the Russell is rolling over. You see the Turbo Fan says, I see a divergence in SPY prices going down, but the CVD is on a huge uptrend, plus 75K of shares. I don't, let me just see if I got anything coming through on the Spygate. Nothing really of note there. Again, we want to see if price gets back below yesterday's low, 74.10. And I think we're testing that. And now let's see, let's gauge the strength and the momentum of this bounce. If we get below it, it's a big heads up. Nothing to do just yet, unless you want to rebuy this dip. But I wouldn't be selling it here. That's for sure. Get trapped at the low. You think you see at least, well, we already have one, two, three bounces off of this level. So heads up. Remember, internals are divergent. The VIX is ripping. Thanks for sharing that chart, Hammer. Updated the Manny Diamond on the CL 4-hour chart, worth considering that we may break out into a deep right field. Yeah, that's an interesting setup right there. It is a really interesting setup. Be careful out here, guys. All right, gang. If we do get down here, right, look for a bounce at 74.05. And then the reaction there is going to be interesting. That's going to be important to gauge. Again, this look below this 15-minute low, 74.08, could just be a trap. So we went the low of this hammer was 74.08, and this low was 74.07 quarter. So that just looks like it's a little baby trap, micro dip. Retest, look below, trap some sellers. All stuff we've seen before. That 74.05 will be interesting on a 15-minute. Because if you guys are looking at the chart, right, check this out, right? So we've been trending so strongly, and on a 15-minute, that 21-period moving average has been acting as support all the way coming up, right? Yeah, we lost it here, but look, it acts as support there, pretty much there, okay? We lost it here, reclaimed it, and now this would be the first test. So I look for that first test to hold. Again, that's one data point. You can't trade off of just one data point. Reverie says if it fails. Yep. Look at Bookmap. SPY Bookmap. Interesting look there. Yep. Look at that. Look at that little trap. Boom. Got him again. I think you're just going to see, like, in a strong parabolic market like this, you can't, like, in my opinion, you shouldn't take like bearish outside prints on a 15-minute or even on an hourly. They're just traps, right? If this was on a 5-minute, you'd probably be seen the same way. Let's check it out on a 5-minute. But I mean, you see it over and over again in these parabolic moves, right? We saw one yesterday where, price prints outside, takes out the prior candle's low, and then just reverses and traps like we just saw. So, I mean, this one didn't even take out this high, but you kind of got this long body candle, right? And think about the day, how the day develops, right? It's rarely all, one color straight up. It's typically, you're going to see pullbacks. So let's just see, or this could be a momentary bounce. Let's monitor it. But I don't like the internals being divergent. I don't like the Russell on the lows, NASDAQ on the highs. That's not typically what you're going to see on a trend for a trend move. So I think at a certain point today, we see some kind of a liquidation break like we did yesterday. Just something to get everybody to question their positions. When you start looking for the traps, it kind of changes your perspective. All right, so we filled that fair value gap at 1675. We traded as high as, what is this? 1675, and now we're fading back down. Dicey. Definitely dicey. See what the profile looks like. Single print down here. Got it. Thanks, Turbo. Appreciate it. If you got something on, tighten up. If you don't, I mean, this is the area that should hold as support, right? We're demonstrating acceptance above yesterday's high. You have to keep thinking long until we see a break down below. And even then, you're going to run into trouble at 74.05. So, I mean, if you don't have anything on, just hang tight. Certainly looking a little dicey, though. But I don't have a hard time thinking we're going to break lower here. the high. Oh no, transports are breaking. That's not good. Let me check something here. And nothing to see there. All right, guys. We're wrapping it up for the morning. Volatility is probably going to continue. You got the levels, you got the timing. If you got anything out of this at all, do me a favor. You guys watching on socials, hit the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe. If you want to go deeper into anything I spoke about today, execution clock or the market blueprint, hit me up at Manny@pitbulltraders.com or on X, at Manny_trends. Remember, react, don't predict. Let the tape confirm, and we'll see you again on Monday. Actually, there might be an afternoon session today, which I'm having a meeting about in about an hour on that. So you'll see it pop up. We'll see you soon. Oh, sorry, I missed your comment. Yep. Everyone expecting one. Thanks, guys.
In a market built for machines, where the odds feel stacked against the retail trader, one firm is turning the tide. Welcome to Pitbull Traders, the next generation in trading. This is more than just an evaluation. It's a development ground, designed to sharpen your edge, build your discipline, and back your growth with real capital. With affordable evaluations, clear rules, and a structure built to reward consistency, Pitbull Traders is here to help serious traders level up.